Hi, this is William from Great Affordable Watches, and today I'm gonna review the Seiko SKX009. I can first say that the Seiko SKX009 and 007 are basically the same watch. The only difference between the two are that the 009 got a blue dial and a blue and red Pepsi bezel, while the SKX007 got a black dial and a black bezel. Other than that, they are identical. Okay, let's get the specs out of the way first. The case size is 42.5 millimeters at its thickest point. The lug-to-lug length is 46 millimeters, and the lug width is 22 millimeters, and the case thickness is 13.25 millimeters. The crystal is made of Hardlex mineral crystal. It's a type of hardened mineral crystal made by Seiko, so it's a bit more scratch resistant than regular mineral crystal. The movement in this watch is the legendary Seiko 7S26 that beats at 21,600 beats per hour, and the 7S26 is a very well regarded workhorse movement that has proven its reliability for over 2 decades. Okay, I'm gonna go through some history of the SKX007 and 009. The history of the SKX007 and 009 starts in 1965 when Seiko introduced the first Seiko diver called the 6217 or known as the 62 Mass. That model got a water resistant rating of 150 meters, and it borrowed some stylistic cues from the Blancpain 55 Phantom's bath escape. But it was entirely its own watch, of course. That model was very popular, so Seiko introduced the iconic 6105, and that watch was favored by the US soldiers in the Vietnam War because it was very reliable and could withstand almost anything. The production of the 6105 ended in 1977. In 1975, Seiko introduced the Tuna. That was a purpose-built professional diver, and it had many innovations in its design and construction. In 1977, Seiko introduced the 6306-9. Later, the 7002 replaced it. In 1988. That model came in 7 variations, with the caliber having 17 jewels and running at 21,600 beats per hour. And Seiko also changed the design of the case to be more slim, and it's more like the one we see on the Seiko SKX007 and 009 today. The 7002 was the first non-professional grade diver called Prospex that had a water resistance of 200 meters and had a unidirectional bezel of 120 clicks. In 1996, Seiko introduced the 7S26 series of watches, and that was over 20 years ago. And by then the SKX007 and 009 came along. So as we can see, the SKX007 and 009 and other watches in the 7S26 lineup got a very nice history behind them. So I think that is a part of why they are so popular and accepted in the watch community, besides the extremely good build quality and diving capabilities for the price. One thing that is very special about this watch is that it is ISO 6425 certified, and that means basically that every watch they make and sell are tested and qualified in a number of ways. So when we get to regular water resistant in, for example, the Orient diving watches, they are 200 meter water resistant. Only a few watches are tested for that particular depth, but with this watch, and when it's ISO certified, every watch is tested, so it's guaranteed that this watch will handle 200 meters. So that is why this is a diver's 200 meter and not 200 meter water resistance. And to see this at the price point that this watch got, now it It's a bit more expensive than it was before, but you can get it for around $200. It is extremely good to have ISO certified for this price. Okay, I'm gonna take the watch off so you can see the case more in detail. I think that the blue dial on the SKX009 is very good looking, and it's almost black if the light is not shining directly at the dial. I think the Pepsi bezel here is also very nice, but I can see that many people prefer the black bezel and the black dial, which I also do when I've had this watch. I think that black goes with almost anything, but I still think that blue is very nice, and I think it fits the feeling and the look of this one. And we can see the case is very different from the usual Submariner design, and I think that it's very nice to see a design of its own and not just homage case designs to the Submariner that many diving watches use today. And I think the bezel is very nice as well, with the tooth pattern. And this is probably my least favorite part of the watch, and that's the crown, and that it's at 4 o'clock instead of at 3 o'clock. But that's just my preference, and it got some practical reasons why it's here as well, because it's easier to unscrew the crown and change the time when you have it on your wrist when it's at 4 o'clock instead of at 3 o'clock. So it's a nice design feature, but it's not for my liking. That's just me, and it doesn't really take away from the watch for many people, so that's just up to you, and that's the design decision they made. The case back is very nicely made in my opinion. I think that the wave is very nicely engraved. It feels pretty high-end if you compare it to many other watches like Orient or even Steinert. I think this is one of the best made case backs in a watch for this price. So that's very nice to see, and this is the classic wave pattern. I don't remember what it's called, but it's called something in Japanese, and it's a symbol of the dive watches from Seiko. And I think that now it's, as I said, the price is a bit higher, but I still think that this is one of the best watches under $250, and especially one of the best diving watches. And it's very respected by almost everyone in the watch community, and that is for a reason, of course. And I fully agree with every good thing they say about this watch, and you can't really go wrong with this watch at all. And this is, if you like the design, this is probably, if not the best watch you can get for this price. Even though you're not a diver, I think that because this is a certified diving watch, I think that just adds to the quality and the feeling of the watch overall, and knowing that you can go swimming and go diving with this watch without a problem, and that it's tested, so you don't really have to worry about this watch. And it's proven itself to be extremely reliable. So if you're looking for a diving watch for around $250, this is the one you should go for. And many people, watch collectors, they have Rolex, Breitling, Jaeger LeCoultre, but they also have the Seiko SKX in the collection. So this piece really fits every collection out there, in my opinion. I think that's really great to see that a watch doesn't really have to be expensive to be considered great and fantastic. So if you haven't already bought this watch, go out and do it. It's a fantastic piece, and you will be highly satisfied if you like the design. First, I wasn't really fond of the design, but it has really grown on me, so maybe it will do the same for you. So if you like this review, please like and subscribe, and if you didn't, please leave a dislike. I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.